I never thought I'd kill a man with a steak knife, but when Derek slid that final check across the table, his smug grin splitting his face like a fresh incision, I gripped the silver handle under the tablecloth and imagined the blade sinking into his throat, warm and final. It wasn't murder in my mind. It was justice, the kind that simmers for years until it boils over in a room full of crystal glasses and lies. And the real kicker? I wasn't even in my own skin anymore. Autumn Hayes, the broke barista from Queens who'd clawed her way through community college on ramen and spite, was now staring back from the mirror as Victoria Langford, the silver-spooned bitch who'd stolen everything from me, including my goddamn body. It started 6 months ago, on a muggy July night in Brooklyn, the kind where the air hangs heavy with exhaust and unspoken regrets. I'd been crashing on Vic's couch, my half-sister, technically, though we'd only connected after Mom's overdose when I was 22. She was the golden child, adopted into the Langford dynasty at 5, while I bounced through foster homes like a pinball in hell. Vic had it all: the penthouse overlooking the East River, the corner office at Langford Investments, and Derek, her sleazy fiancé who reeked of Axe body spray and entitlement.
Me?
I was the charity case, the inspiring underdog she paraded at parties to make herself look woke. That night, we were celebrating her promotion, head of acquisitions, poaching deals from startups like a vulture in Louboutins. The wine flowed, red and bitter like our family history, and Vic pulled out this weird vial from her purse, glowing faintly under the kitchen fluorescence. Experimental shit from a biotech buddy, she slurred, eyes glassy. Body swap serum. Harmless fun. Imagine waking up as me for a day. Power, baby. Derek laughed, egging her on, and before I could back out, they dosed me. A prick in the arm, a dizzy spin, and black. I woke up gasping in silk sheets that smelled like Chanel No. 5 and regret. My hands, long, manicured, not mine, fumbled for the mirror. Victoria stared back, all sharp cheekbones and ice-blue eyes. Panic clawed my chest as I stumbled to the living room. There I was, my old body, slumped on the couch, Vic's soul puppeteering my freckled face. She blinked awake, grinned like she'd won the lottery. Holy shit, Autumn, you make poverty look good. But let's switch back before brunch. Except we couldn't. The vial was empty, the biotech buddy ghosted Vic's texts, and by noon, Derek was whispering in her ear, my ear, about how this was fate.
Keep it, he said.
Live my life while I rot in hers. I begged, screamed, but they locked me in the guest room, force-fed me Vic's wardrobe and schedule. You'll adapt, Vic cooed from my lips. Or you'll break. Either way, it's mine now. The betrayal hit like a freight train. Turns out, Vic had been cooking the books at Langford Investments for years, siphoning millions into offshore accounts to fund her coke habit and Derek's poker debts. The feds were closing in, audits pending.
So she pinned it on me.
Forged emails, planted ledgers in my name. I was the outsider, the foster kid with a juvie record for shoplifting bread at 16. Who'd believe Autumn Hayes over Victoria Langford? By week 2, I was me, again in the eyes of the world, busted, arraigned, rotting in Rikers while Vic swan-dived into my stolen life. Rikers was a concrete coffin, the air thick with bleach and despair. I scratched tally marks into the bunk, counting days until the trial. Plea deal. 15 years for embezzlement, fraud, the works. My public defender, a harried kid fresh out of Fordham, called it a slam dunk. Vic visited once in my body, dripping sympathy. I'm so sorry, sis. But think of it as penance for Mom. Penance? For what? Mom OD'd because Vic's real parents cut her off when she got pregnant with me out of wedlock. I'd carried that shame my whole life, the bastard stain. Now Vic was twisting it into my noose. But bodies have memories, secrets etched in muscle and bone. One night, 3 months in, I woke sweating in my cell, Vic's lithe frame convulsing on the thin mattress. A voice, not mine, whispered in my skull, "Fight back." It was like the serum had glitched, souls bleeding through the seams. I concentrated, willed it, and felt the pull, a cosmic rip. By dawn, I was me again, huddled in the shadows of my old cell, while Vic's screams echoed from the top bunk.
No. Wait.
The guards found her body, my body, hanging from the pipe, suicide. Autumn Hayes was dead.
Case closed. Vic?
She vanished into the system as a ghost, presumed escaped or shanked. Freedom tasted like rust and rain. I stepped out of Rikers in Vic's designer jeans, her Amex burning a hole in my pocket. The world thought Victoria Langford was on a sabbatical in the Hamptons, grieving her tragic half-sister. Perfect cover. I moved into her penthouse, hacked her emails with a VPN and a YouTube tutorial, and started plotting. Revenge wasn't a dish. It was a slow roast, seared rare. First, the money trail. Vic's offshore slush fund, $12 million, laundered through Cayman shells. I funneled it quietly, starving Derek's bookie, freezing Vic's, my old foster contacts who'd testify against me. But the real knife was personal.
Derek.
That prick had proposed to Vic on the night of the swap, ring glittering like his lies. Now he was CEO interim, schmoozing board members, fucking interns in the boardroom. I watched from the shadows, Vic's poise my camouflage. My first move was subtle, anonymous tips to HR about his harassment. 2 weeks, 2 payouts, and he was on probation. But I needed him broken, begging. So I became her, fully. Galas, golf outings, whispers in ears. Victoria was sharper now, haunted. They called it grief. I called it fuel. The plan crystallized over a solo whiskey at the Oak Room, mahogany walls closing in like a confessional. Invite them to dinner. The whole rotten crew. Derek, Vic's coke dealer Uncle Harlan, who'd supplied the serum, and a couple of bored stooges who'd signed off on the fraud. Le Bernardine, Midtown's temple of excess. I'd foot the bill as sponsor. Play the grieving widow-to-be. Then the check. The bill that exposed it all, not just the food, but the forged receipts, the embezzled tabs from years of these business dinners. I'd plant the evidence, let the numbers do the stabbing. Prep was meticulous. I photoshopped. Okay, outsourced to a dark web hacker. Vic's signature on dummy invoices, linking every lobster thermidor to the slush fund. Printed on watermarked Langford letterhead, tucked into an envelope marked reconciliation. The serum's glitch? It let me glimpse Vic's memories in flashes, her childhood terror of the Langfords' cold mansion, the first line she snorted at 16 to numb it, Derek's fists when she threatened to leave. Pity flickered, but rage smothered it. She'd chosen this. Stolen my body, to bury her sins in my grave. D-Day, Friday, October 13th, irony's favorite date. I arrived early, Vic's Louboutins clicking like countdowns. The table overlooked Bryant Park, leaves turning bloody under sodium lamps. Derek showed first, all teeth and cologne. Vicky, babe, you look intense. I smiled, Vic's megawatt beam, and ordered the wine list. Harlan slunk in next, Paunch straining his cummerbund, eyes darting like a rat. The board guys, Ellis and Crow, followed, fat cats in pinstripes, chuckling about that poor Hayes girl. We ordered like kings, foie gras tranche, diver scallops in saffron beurre blanc, dry-aged ribeyes with black truffle bordelaise. Harlan piled on the caviar service, beluga mounds like snowy sins. To Autumn, he toasted, winking. The real MVP. Took the fall like a champ. Laughter rippled, glasses clinking. Derek leaned in, breath hot. She was always jealous, you know? Foster trash.
My fork bent in my fist.
Jealous? I'd scrubbed their toilets, covered Vic's shifts when she partied. But I played along, laughter tinkling like ice. As plates cleared, the tension coiled. Dessert, molten chocolate with gold leaf, sorbets in hollowed pineapples. Harlan droned about a new serum batch, eyes greedy. Derek's hand crept under the table. Onto my knee, Vic's knee. I let it, while rising. Then the check. The waiter, a kid with tattoos peeking from cuffs, dropped the leather folder. $4,200. I flipped it open, feigning shock. Gentlemen, this is obscene. Derek snatched it, guffawed. Put it on the company card, sponsor. Autumn would have loved this, her treat, from beyond the grave. The table howled. Harlan slapped my back. Here, here, to our little ghostwriter. That's when I slid the envelope across. Actually, let's settle up properly. I've been reconciling the books. These dinners? All on the tab. Confusion flickered. I tapped the top sheet. Itemized bills, dates matching the fraud logs. Every fois, every flute of Dom, embezzled from Langford. And look, Autumn's signature on the approvals. Funny how that works. Derek's face drained, pork fat pale. What the fuck, Vic? Harlan choked on his digestive, coughing caviar flecks. Ellis and Crow exchanged glances, phones emerging. This is a joke, right? I leaned in, voice low, Autumn's queen's grip bleeding through Vic's polish. No joke. But here's the twist. I'm not her. I'm the one you buried alive in that cell. The body you hung to cover your asses. Gasps, chair scraping. Derek lunged, but security, my tip-off, swarmed. Harlan bolted for the exit, slippery as eel, but I had his dealer logs forwarded to the DEA an hour ago. As cuffs clicked, Vic's memory surged, a final glitch. Her voice, faint in my head. It wasn't me. Derek forced the serum. He wanted you gone. Your bloodline threatened the inheritance. Mom's will. You were the heir. What? The Langfords had hidden it. Mom's stake, mine by right. Vic hadn't stolen my life. Derek had orchestrated the swap to kill the claim through my suicide. The twist inverted everything. Vic, trapped in my body, had tried to confess in Rikers, but Derek's guards silenced her. My suicide was his murder. Rage flipped to. What? Absolution? Too late. As they dragged him out, screaming innocence, I whispered to the empty table, "Bills on you, sponsor." But freedom? It tasted like ash. Vic was gone, her soul snuffed in my old shell. I had the money, the penthouse, the name. Yet every mirror mocked me. Whose eyes were these? The feds cleared Autumn's name posthumously, a quiet exoneration. I donated the slush fund to Foster Charities, Anonymous. Derek rots in federal lockup, Harlan in witness protection, spilling to save his skin. Was it revenge, or just survival? They say justice is blind, but mine wore Louboutins and a grudge. In the end, I scattered Mom's ashes, real ones, dug from the plot, over the East River at dawn. For us, I said to the wind. Happy? Tragic? You tell me. The bills paid, but the tab on my soul? That's eternal. The weeks after Le Bernardine blurred into a fever dream of depositions and dawn patrols, the kind where you chase ghosts down Fifth Avenue under sodium lamps that buzz like accusations. I was Victoria Langford now, legally, financially. Hell, existentially, but Autumn's voice clawed from inside, a Brooklyn echo in Vic's velvet throat. Who the fuck are we? I'd mutter to the skyline, her penthouse a glass cage overlooking a city that chewed up strays like me and spat out bones. The exoneration hit the post first. Tragic mix-up. Foster sister's suicide reveals corporate conspiracy. Grainy mugshot of Derek in orange, Harlan's dealer face blurred for protection. No mention of the serum. DEA classified it as experimental narcotic, swept under rug with the coke vials. Good. The last thing I needed was biotech vultures circling, offering reversals for price. Vic's memories trickled in fragments, her first board meeting at 19, trembling under Daddy Langford's glare. The night Derek proposed, ring box hiding a baggie of blow. But the big one? Mom's will. Buried in a safe deposit box, unread since '98. I'd claimed it 2 days post-dinner, the lawyer's eyes bulging at the 40% stake, $80 million in Langford stock, willed to my daughter Autumn, born of love, not convenience. Derek's play was genius in its ugliness. Marry Vic, consolidate control, eliminate the bastard heir via suicide, in a swapped shell. Vic? She'd been his pawn, dosed unwilling, her confession scrawled on Riker's notepaper. Help.
Not me. Switch.
Guards, Derek's payroll, had torched it, strung her up with bedsheets. My body, her end. I visited the plot in Queens, fresh sod over. Autumn haze, beloved sister. Kneeling in the drizzle, I traced the stone. You fought, I whispered. Now I finish. Boardroom reckoning came swift. Ellis and Crow tendered resignations before dawn, parachutes golden but reputations shredded. I chaired the emergency meeting in Vic's corner office, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Chrysler building like a silver dagger. Ladies and gentlemen, I said, voice steady as a surgeon's, we've got rot. And I'm the scalpel. Votes flew. Me as permanent CEO. Audits tripled. Ethics hotline with my direct line. Whispers called it Victoria's Renaissance. Bullshit. It was Autumn's purge. But power's a double-edged blade, and mine nicked deep. Nights, I'd wake thrashing, Vic's lithe body slick with sweat, her nightmares bleeding into mine. Daddy Langford's belt, the foster home's cold suppers. Was I her now? Or just wearing her like a stolen coat? Therapy?
Please.
A Park Avenue shrink would have billed 6 figures to unpack this mess. Instead, I hit the streets, Queens, my old haunts. The diner where I slung hash browns, now a ghost town of grease traps. Maria, my boss, hugged me fierce. Thought you were dead, Mija. I slipped her an envelope. Vic's charity, Autumn's guilt. For the girls who stay. Deeper cuts, Derek's trial. Federal courthouse in Foley Square. Marble halls echoing like tombs. I testified as Victoria. Cool and Chanel, laying out the fraud like a poker hand. Aces of embezzled dinners, kings of offshore wires. His lawyer, a slick weasel from Skadden, grilled me. Ms. Langford motive? Your fiancé was devoted. Devoted? I flashed to Vic's memory, his ringed fist on her jaw after a lost bet. Devotion's a word for dogs, I snapped. Jury ate it up. Verdict: 30 years, no parole. As marshals hauled him, he locked eyes, my eyes once. You're a monster, Vicky.
Ismila Big Smila. No, Derek.
I'm the sponsor. Harlan was trickier. Witness protection whisked him to some Midwest nowhere, new name, new nose. But grudges have GPS. I traced him via PI, ex-cop with a bourbon habit and a grudge against snitches. $50,000, and I had his strip mall address. Omaha, posing as Hal Jenkins, managing a vape shop. Drove out in Vic's Tesla, windows down, corn husks whipping like accusations. He froze behind the counter, vape clouds parting like Judgment Day.
Vevitz?
Shit, it's you. We talked in the back room, humid with despair. The serum, I said, no preamble. Tell me everything. Harlan spilled. Black market biotech from a DARPA dropout, meant for PTSD vets, swap traumas, not souls. Vic had scored it for kicks, but Derek spiked the dose. Permanent bind. He wanted her broken, Harlan muttered, eyes wet. You too. Inheritance bullshit. I pressed. Vic's last words in Rikers? She said.
Sorry.
For Mom. For everything. My chest cracked. Sorry? For stealing my shifts, my dreams? Or for being the sister I never had? I left him alive, controversial. Yeah. Mercy?
Nah.
Better. Leverage. One word to the feds about the swap, and your new life's ash. He nodded, broken. Driving back, 80 stretching endless, I cranked Springsteen, Born to Run, thunder in the speakers. We gotta get out while we're young, the boss growled. Young? At 28, I felt 90, souls stacked like debt. Back in the city, the glitch intensified. Vic's essence flickered, her laugh in my throat during board calls, her fear in elevators. One night, blackout drunk on Macallan, I smashed the vial's empty case against the marble counter. Shards glittered like truths. Call the biotech ghost? Risk exposure? Or live forked? 2 women in one skin? The decision gnawed, controversial as hell. End it or weaponize it. Enter Lena, Vic's, my exec assistant. Sharp as a stiletto, Latina fire from the Bronx, with eyes that saw through bullshit. She'd handled the post-swap chaos, covering Victoria's absences with Hampton's excuses. Over coffee in the executive kitchen, espresso bitter as betrayal, she cornered me. Boss, you're not her. Not anymore. Hart stuttered. What? Lena shrugged, unfazed. The walk. Autumn's slouch, not Vic's strut. And that Queen's fugged-about-it slip in the merger call? Girl, you're transparent. I froze, fight-or-flight spiking. Trust her? Or silence? She proved it. A flash drive of Vic's diaries, digitized. Entries from the swap night. Derek's eyes cold. He said it's forever. Autumn, forgive me. I can't fight him. Lena had found it cleaning out Vic's desk, kept quiet out of loyalty. To me, the real me. You're running the show now, she said. But ghosts don't delegate. We allied. Her as my shadow. Feeding intel on lingering rot. Derek's offshore holdouts. Bored whispers of coup. The next gauntlet. Langford family reunion. Daddies will reading. Irony's encore. In the Hamptons manse. Waves crashing like applause. Cousins in khakis, aunts with Botox smiles. I arrived in Vic's vintage Jag, engine purring menace. The lawyer, same dry fossil from Mom's era, cleared his throat. To Victoria, the bulk, 60%. To Autumn Hayes. Deceased. Reversion to siblings.
Gasps.
I stood, voice thunder. Deceased? Check the DNA counselor. I'm her. Chaos. Accusations of fraud, calls to estate attorneys. Aunt Prue sneered. Imposter. But Lena had prepped the lab report. Post-mortem on Autumn's body. Vic's markers mismatched. Inheritance secured. But the cost? Family fractured. Whispers of cursed blood. I drove back alone, salt air thick in my lungs. Vic's memory hit. Her wedding to Daddy's empire, a shotgun merger at 21. Trapped, she'd written. Was I freeing her, or chaining myself? Climax brewed in December, snow blanketing the city like lies. A whistleblower, Crow's nephew, jilted over a bonus, leaked the full fraud to the Times. Headline screamed, Langford heiress's dark secret. Body-snatching scandal? No, wait, anonymous source, Harlan? My PI swore not. Inside job? Lena's eyes narrowed. Derek's cellmate. Old grudge. Feds circled again, subpoenas raining. I faced them in the boardroom, lights harsh as interrogations. Ms. Langford, the lead agent drawled, fedora tilted like noir. Care to explain the serum traces in the Vic's talk screen? Vic me. Heart hammered.
Lie?
Confess? The controversial call. Truth half buried. Experimental therapy. Grief-induced hallucination. Autumn's death broke me. They bought it. Barely, files stamped, unsubstantiated. But the glitch peaked that night. Vic's soul surged, full possession. Her hands on the balcony rail, wind whipping blonde hair. Let me go, she begged in my voice, no, hers. You're free. Tears froze on cheeks not mine. The decision. Jump?
Medj?
I chose neither, swallowed a double dose of Vic's Xanax stash, willing the bind to snap. Blackout. Woke to dawn, body mine? Hers? Mirror lied. Still Vic. But lighter.
Shared.
Lena found me at noon, coffee in hand. Boss? You good? I nodded. Autumn's grin cracking through. Better. We're good. The empire stabilized. Donations poured to Riker's reforms. Therapy for the broken. Derek appealed, lost. Harlan vanished for real, or so the PI said. Yet debates lingered. Hero? Villain? The sponsor who paid the bill, or the thief who forged it? In quiet moments, I'd trace Mom's locket. Vic's heirloom, now mine. For us, I'd whisper. The river flowed on uncaring. A happy ending? If vengeance fills the hollows tragic? If it echoes empty? Spring thawed Manhattan's veins, cherry blossoms bleeding pink against the gray, but my blood ran colder than a Central Park pond in January. The empire teetered on my tightrope. Stock ticks up 12% post-scandal, analysts cooing, Victoria 2.0, resilient reinvention. Bullshit PR spin, courtesy of Lena's Rolodex. Truth? I was a hybrid horror. Autumn's grit grinding against Vic's gloss, sparks flying in boardroom silences and bathroom stalls. Pick a lane, Lena quipped over takeout tie in the office. Spring rolls soggy as my resolve. Easy for her, Bronx born unscarred.
Me?
Scar tissue from 2 lives, itching under silk blouses. The glitch evolved, less invasion, more dialogue. Vic's voice, a whiskey rasp in my skull. What now, sis? Burn it down? I'd argue back during jogs along the Hudson, sneakers pounding pavement like heartbeats. Build it better. For the ones like us. Us. Foster flotsam, overdose orphans. I'd greenlit the foundation. Hayes Langford Initiative, $20 mill seed for trauma tech, ethical swaps for vets, not vanity highs. Ironic? The serums spawn healing wounds it gashed. But ethics board sniffed. FDA hounds baying for trials. Ms. Langford, a bespectacled suit droned via Zoom. Your personal history raises flags. Personal? Try existential clusterfuck.
Deeparat surfaced, Derek, S. tendrils.
From Leavenworth, he smuggled letters, via a guard's niece, $5,000 Venmo drops. Vicky, my love, it's a frame. Autumn was the thief, jealous whore.
Come see me.
We fix this. Love. His fists on Vic's ribs said otherwise. I burned them in the penthouse fireplace, flames dancing like accusations. But doubt crept. What if Vic had chosen it? Her diaries lied? Lena dug deeper, hired a forensic shrink to parse the digital scrawls. Dissociation patterns, she reported over Merlot at the Polo Bar. Vic was gaslit gold. Derek's the architect. Controversial call. Visit him. Not mercy intel. Leavenworth sprawled brutal under Kansas sun, barbed wire glinting like grins. Processing, pat-downs, Vic's braille's stripped for contraband. Cell block echo chamber, catcalls bouncing off cinderblock. Derek in orange, bulkier, eyes hungry. Babe. He lunged for the glass, palms splayed.
Iset, composed.
Talk. He spilled venom. The serum from a DARPA black op, Harlan's hookup via a senator's slush. I did it for us, for the life she deserved.
Deserved?
Vic's memories flashed, his proposal on bended knee, ring shadowed by a Glock on the nightstand. You killed her, I said flat. My body, her soul. He laughed hollow. Proof? You're Vic now. Act like it. The twist he dangled. Mom's will wasn't just stock. A codicil, hidden clause. Langford's original adoption papers forged. Vic wasn't blood. I was the sole heir. 100%.
She knew, he hissed.
Swap to steal it back. Bitch betrayed me. World tilted. Vic the thief? Or Derek's lie another hook? I left silent. Drive back a blur of wheat fields waving mockery. Lena met me at LaGuardia, tablet glowing. Check the archives. He's full of shit, adoption's legit. But her paws hung heavy. Vic did skim first. Small scholarships for you, anonymous. Guilt money. Layers peeled, onion rotten. Betrayal bidirectional, a Mobius strip of hurt. Summer scorched in, heat waves warping the streets. The foundation launched at MoMA, gala gowns and champagne flutes, donors preening like peacocks. I wore Vic's red Versace, autumn's scowl beneath. Toasts rang. To reinvention. A reporter cornered me, sharp-eyed from the journal. Ms. Langford, rumors of identity flux? The sister's death. Too convenient. Flashbulbs popped. Vultures. I smiled lethal. Grief's a ghost, Mr. Hale. Haunts us all. But inside, Vic whispered, tell them.
Free us.
Controversial? Hell yes. Confession would have tanked the stock, orphaned the initiative. So I lied, silver-tongued. The real storm brewed private. Harlan resurfaced. Not vanished, relocated, my PI's trail cold till a tip. Atlantic City, high roller tables, Hal blowing witness cash on blackjack. I flew coach. Autumn's thrift in Vic's wallet. Landed in neon hell. Casino reeked of desperation, slots chiming dirges. Found him at craps, dice rolling like fates.
Autumn.
He paled, chips scattering. We retreated to a dive bar, buds sweating on Formica. Truth poured. The serum's creator, Dr. Elias Crow, no relation to the board stooge, rogue physicist, DARPA cast-off. Permanent unless counterdosed. Harlan slurred. 3 sheets. Antidote in his lab. Jersey Pine Barrens. But he's ghosted. Feds want him for trials. Counter? My pulse thrummed. And the hybrid. Reclaim Autumn Shell? But Vic's plea echoed, don't. We're stronger. Decision forked. Chase the cure. Risk unraveling the empire? Or embrace the chimera, controversial fusion? I chose chase. Midnight drive to the Barrens, Tesla devouring blacktop. Pines loomed skeletal, moon mocking through branches. Crow's lab. Abandoned chem plant, chain link sagging. Inside, rust and relics, vials shattered, notes yellowed. Soul transference. Ethical abyss. Found it. Syringe kit, antidote glowing faint. Prick?
Merge permanent?
Hands shook, Vic raging. He'll win. Derek's game. But Autumn's voice, core deep. Live true. Injected. Fire in veins, souls wrestling. Vic's poise yielding to my grit.
Woke to dawn, body.
Shifted? Mirror in the glove box. Features blurred. Autumn's freckles faint under Vic's bone structure. Hybrid locked, but balanced. Stronger. Back in the city, Empire hummed. Lena promoted to COO. Her Bronx fire my ballast. Foundation thrived. First trials. Vets swapping PTSD echoes, healing without hollowing. Derek's appeal crushed life without. Harlan? I tipped the feds his AC hideout. He's bunked with snitches now. Fall leaves turned, cycle vicious. A letter arrived, postmarked Leavenworth. Not Derek scrawl. Mom's lawyer, unsent codicil, dated 98. To my girls, blood or borrowed, share the light.
Nos a dos.
Vic's doing? Or fate's joke. I framed it, hung over the mantle. Debate fodder. Was the swap curse or catalyst?
I sponsor da dinner, le Bernardine in core, solo.
Ordered the ribeye, bill $800. Paid cash, Autumn's tip doubled. For the ghosts, I told the waiter. He nodded unknowing. The hollow, filled with purpose, jagged edges. Tragic triumph? You decide. Winter clamped Manhattan in iron jaws, snowplows growling like beasts through the witching hours, but my nights burned hotter than a barrel fire in an alley scrum. The hybrid hum now, autumn street smart steering Vic's out of a life, no more glitches, just a seamless scar. Where us, I'd affirm to the rear view during cross-down crawls, horns blaring symphony to the chaos. Lena called it evolution, I called it armistice. The Foundation's trials scaled, FDA greenlight, vets testifying on CNN. Swapped the nightmares. Got my mornings back. Headlines pivoted. Langford's miracle. From scandal to salvation. My face, our face, plastered, enigmatic smile selling the spin. But undercurrents pulled vicious. Derek's final gambit. A civil suit from Leavenworth. Pro bono from a true crime podcasto sniffing ratings. Wrongful conviction. The body swap hoax. Filed remotely, alleging I'd impersonated Vic to seize the will. Court date loomed January 15th, federal in Brooklyn, my old backyard.
Lena Rallied Lawyers. Escaden Sarks, 2,000 pesos vitanes.
He'll fold. She predicted over dim sum in Chinatown, steam rising like doubts. No evidence. Evidence? The serum's ghost, Harlan's whispers. Controversial prep. Leak counterdirt. I authorized it. Derek's prison logs, conjugal visits with the guard's wife, bribes documented. Fight dirty, Autumn growled. Vic sighed. Necessary evil. The hearing was a circus, paparazzi swarming the steps, drones buzzing like hornets. Inside, wood-paneled theater, Derek via video link. Gaunt, eyes feral. His counsel, the podcaster's pet attorney, paraded witnesses, ex-interns swearing Vic's erratic behavior post-swap, a blurry cell vid of Autumn's last rant. My turn. The stand, oath heavy as chain. I am Victoria Langford, I stated, voice steel. Grieving sister, CEO, survivor. Cross-exam. And the serum traces? I met his gaze. Derek's proxy glare. Therapy trial. Confidential. My brother's desperation. Jury swayed, but the judge, a grizzled Italian from Bay Ridge, smelled the rot. Dismissed with prejudice, he barked, gavel cracking like bone. Derek's feed froze on rage. Podcastus mic drop silenced. Outside, snow swirled confetti victory. Lena hugged fierce. We owned it. But walking to the car, a heckler shoved through, bearded, sign. Justice for Autumn. Heart seized. Who? He vanished in the scrum, but Lena's trace, Derek's half-bro, radicalized online. The war lingered. Deeper controversy brewed domestic. The Langford clan. Post-will, they'd scattered, sour grapes fermenting into lawsuits. Aunt Prue spearheaded, alleging undue influence on the codicil. Depositions in the Hamptons manse. Ocean roaring judgment. Prue, pearls clutched like rosaries. You stole her soul, girl. Soul? I laughed cold. Vic chose fight. You chose silence, decades of it. Revelations spilled. Langfords knew of Mom's OD, hushed it to protect stock prices. Family first, Prue sniffed. My retort, blood's thicker than ink, but lies drown quicker. Settlement. They got scraps, I got peace. Bitter, bought. Spring bloomed defiant, cherry petals carpeting the park like fallen soldiers. The antidote's echo? Faded, but curiosity gnawed. I hunted Dr. Crow. Official channels, Foundation grant as cover. Found him in New Mexico, off-grid Adobe. Telescopes pointed at stars like please. Redemption, he muttered over weak tea, desert wind whistling sins. The serum? DARPA's brainchild for spies. Swap IDs in the field. Leaked, black-marketed. Antidote?
Temporary flux.
True merge requires will. He eyed me sharp. You've done it. Rare. Gift. A journal, equations for ethical evolutions. Heal, don't haunt. I left with it, heavier than hope. Summer solstice, I hosted the donors' retreat, Catalina Island, yachts bobbing like buoys. Speeches by firelight. From ashes, light. But private, Lena and I on the cliff, waves gnashing below. What's next? She asked, cigarette glow halo. Next? Retire the hybrid? No, lean in. Controversial pivot. Public partial truth. A TED-style talk at the Javits. The invisible swap. Grief, identity, and second lives. No serum specifics, just metaphor for loss. Applause thundered. Book deals flooded. Vic's poise, I thought. Autumn's truth. Fall harvest. Derek's suicide. Leavenworth note. She won. No sponsor left. Pills smuggled. Grief? Flicker. Justice? Full circle. I visited the site, Kansas flatlands, wind farms spinning futile. Rest, I whispered to the wire. Harlan's trial, life, no deals. He routed Crow, but the doc vanished again. Stars his escape. Winter's end, 1 year post-dinner. I stood on the penthouse balcony. City lights fractal fire. Sold the place too haunted. New life. Foundation HQ in Brooklyn, brownstone with a view of the bridge. Lena as partner, not assistant. Mom's locket around my neck, engraved us.
The bill?
Framed in the office, $4,200 folly. Visitors gawk. What's that? I grin hybrid. The tab that started it all.
Ending?
Debatable feast. Happy. Empire ethical. Lives mended. Hybrid whole. Tragic. Souls stitched from scraps. Echoes eternal. I sponsor now, not luxury but light. Order what you will. The check's on me. But remember, exposure cuts deepest.